Welcome everyone to Gear Live Volume 15. This week we're going to be looking at a couple of interesting little things. With us we've got Jared and for a change, Brett. Brett, how's it going?
It's cold.
It's cold. Yeah, starting off guys, Jared, what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing the guitar.
Nice.
No,
How's that coming on?
Yeah, a bit of guitar here. No, mostly I've been playing a bit of not much.
Nice. That's quite intriguing. Our viewers are probably excited about it.
It's been quite difficult actually. No, but I've carried on with Cinemora that I was mentioning last week on the Vita. I actually finished it and I'm busy playing some of the challenges. There's like an insane mode which really is insane. You die every 10 seconds, but it's quite fun to play through and see how far you can get. And then otherwise I've also been playing Lumines on Vita, which I just can't help it. Every time I switch it on I just go back to that game. I play it so much, so yeah, that's what I've been playing the last week or so.
Yeah, it's one of those games you can sort of pick up whenever and just have a good couple of, 15 minutes, half an hour, just really enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. And the one on the Vita has some really cool tracks. So it's fun to play. And I haven't had much chance to play on the actual consoles lately, just with the little guy. So it's been Vita and 3DS the last little while.
Yeah, well, it is probably like one of the only worthwhile games actually playing on the Vita. So yeah, we can't really blame you for that.
And it's better than all the 3DS games.
Nah, whoa, watch your dirty mouth, boy. Brett, yourself, what have you been up to?
Dragon's Dogma. Nothing but Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, your review went up earlier in the week. We'll get into that a little bit later. But worthwhile game to play, Brett?
It depends if you like sort of like a Japanese open world RPG. It's actually quite a complicated game if you let it be, but
yeah, I guess we'll get into it a bit
one of those taste things.
Okay, cool.
We'll see.
Yeah, for those of you wondering, David's off sick this week. He had a run-in with a really hardcore stomach bug, I think.
He's
trying not to sneeze at the moment.
Yeah, he had one or two little graphic tweets about that. So we'll try do him proud without him. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this week I've been trying to play a little bit of everything on each platform. Then I'm still playing Runner 2 on the Wii U. Fantastic.
What are you playing on the Vita, Goth?
On the Vita, they don't have games. I would like to try Wipeout, but maybe not worth it. I don't know. When it gets games, I'll start playing it, I guess.
Good idea. Yeah, carry on though. The Runner 2.
Last week, Jared, you mentioned Thomas Was Alone, so kind of took your word for it, got that, and absolutely loved it. Busy with my second playthrough. Fantastic game. So simplistic, but yeah, the narration makes it. It's really very well designed, cleverly thought out. Really enjoyed that. Trying to finish Rayman Origins as well. Didn't finish it when it came out. Life kind of does happen. Other review titles come up.
Wait until you get to that last level in that game. It is just so insane.
I remember you saying it was so tough, but it's can't wait for Legends to come out.
Me too.
Awesome.
Have you guys finished the Land of the Living Dead stage for Rayman?
That's the one I'm talking about. That last level. That
was
level was.
bastard.
It was brutal. That was actually just the best thing in the whole game. I loved it. I loved it. It was so well. The level design in that level, Goth, you'll see when you get there. It was just designed brilliantly.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like a really tough platformer. There's something about it. but if it's anything like the rest of the game, as far as level design and soundtrack is concerned, it can only be good. So yeah, that's what I've been up to this week. Also busy with the little review title, Mario vs Donkey Kong. Minis on the Move for 3DS. I'll probably have a review up early next week. Yeah, I'll let you know how it is. So far, so good though.
Cool.
Okay, as far as our news topic for the week goes, we've probably chosen the 3 most educated guys on the series for this. But yeah, the Gran Turismo 6, which is due at the end of the year, guys. Yeah, Brett, you've played a couple of the titles. Looking forward to it? Not really. What's up?
Personally, I couldn't really be bothered. I'm not much of a simulation fan. I put in hours on Gran Turismo 2, 3 on the PS2. I think it was on the PS2. And then a little bit on 4, but I don't have the dedication to learn how to take a corner without barging somebody else into a barrier. But from what I've seen in the announcement, people are going to be quite impressed as long as there's not too much DLC.
Oh, well, if it's anything like GT5, yeah, we've got our work cut out for us. They did say there would be plenty of DLC. They did mention that there are going to be a bunch of other levels. I think it was 7 extra levels. And then, yeah, more DLC to come. Something like 1,200 or something cars. Yeah, like the current.
It's a car game.
There we go, Jared. You're catching on. Very nice, very nice.
Okay. I'm sure it's got tracks and cars, and they go round and round and round and round.
Do we have something he could be colouring in?
Yeah. Look, Brett, I don't know if on the versions you played, they had a distinct difference between the sort of classic and normal cars, and then you had the premium cars. Do you know anything about those?
Not very much. The last time I remember, the last special car I remember from Gran Turismo was that weird Suzuki thing that you could take on the oval. I think it was Gran Turismo 3.
Yeah, look, basically, in a nutshell, how they differentiate the 2 sort of styles is your sort of special cars are sort of more detailed. You go into the dash of your car, and it's actually specifically designed exactly how the car should look. Whereas your classic are pretty much generic and haven't put in as much time and effort to it, which is kind of lame. If you look at the Forza series, everything's basically a premium car then. And when was GT5 released? It must have been, 3 years ago? And sort of in that period, we've seen Forza 3 as well as 4. So, they've really taken a long time, so hopefully they can kind of polish up what they didn't get right in 5. So,
From what I saw though, it was really impressive, the graphic. I mean, I'm the last one to really care about graphics, but the graphics of the game look really impressive. And we know that the PS3 is towards the end of its life, and it's just amazing what they're pushing out. And if you just think about the PS3 games coming out this year, they've really made an effort to make the last year very impressive. And the games that are coming out this year are top quality, and it's like a game they could have easily waited for PS4 and thought, like launch title or whatever, but they're really giving the PS3 lots of love towards the end. I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's funny though. What they did mention is that there could possibly be a PS4 version.
Sure, but I mean, not the other way. So that's they're still focusing 100%. On the PS3, which is really good.
Yeah, they also went into sort of detail that it will sort of integrate with your smartphone and tablets, and it's going to be very social orientated compared to 5. And if you sort of just take that little bit of info into consideration, it sort of sounds like a PS4 type thing. I mean, the PS4's trying to push the whole social interaction thing. So I don't know if we'll see that on the PS3 version, possibly only the 4, but yeah, hopefully their PS3 end product isn't just a rush job before they really focus on the next gen stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
True.
Yeah, there's also after reading our post earlier in the week, they had a course designer and so build your own custom car kind of thing. So
that could be very cool.
Yeah, well, Brett can have his sort of purple flaming car with his like really sparkly rims. He'll kind of enjoy that kind of thing. So yeah, there's a market for it, I guess.
And you can make a bucky.
Hell yeah, boy! I wonder if you can race a John Deere tractor around like one of the tracks. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Stereotypes.
Yeah. Let's move on to our review title for the week, which was done by you, Brett. Dragon's Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma, yeah. Dragon's Dogma is a very strange title. You get one of those games and you start playing through it and you just hate it instantly.
Yeah.
All right.
You get those. Pretty much like the whole of the intro, I was sitting there going, wow, this game is going to suck. Just throughout the whole intro, and then you finish the intro and they sort of dump you on a beach after you've created your character, and then they throw a dragon at you, and after that you're just lost. It's like, what do I do next? And you just want to keep playing. It's absolutely brilliant. I think you've got to have a taste for RPGs, in particular like sort of a Dark Souls type of thing.
Especially the sort of the Japanese aspect to it.
Yeah, there is that as well, but it's because it's Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, so it's just a reissue of the game that came out last year with extra content. So while the main game is still fantastic, the new content it's very much Dark Souls in a nutshell.
I was going to ask if it was like a build upon the original that came out. I think the original came out last year.
Yeah, it did.
So does this? Do you have to have the first one to play this? Is it like add-on DLC or is it just a complete standalone?
It's not actually DLC. As far as I know, they haven't released it as DLC either. They just re-released the game with new content.
Okay.
It's got a second disc that has HD textures on it that you have to install before you play. So they did a lot of fixes and stuff, and then just re-released the game with a whole new section in it.
So what are what additions are there? What kind of things are new?
It's there's a whole new area. It's basically it's like a multi-level dungeon that gets progressively more difficult as you move through it. The problem is that occasionally you'll be stuck. You can't go on. Everything's going to kill you, so you have to go back to the start. But once you go back to the start, there's no real way to get back to the point you were quickly. You have to actually fight your way back there. And the game randomizes as well. So you've gone through there, you've completely cleared it out, and you go through an area where maybe you saw 6 or 7 overpowered goblins last time, and they throw like a griffin and a dragon at you at the same time. And
That's pretty cool.
Overwhelming at times.
what is that, Garth?
No, I was just saying. So it's probably a little overwhelming at times.
It is, but especially if you consider I didn't play the first game, so I didn't have a save file on there. I actually had to level up before I could get to the dungeon. Because you can go into the dungeon straight away, a level 4 character if you want to. Level 4, level 5, I think, depends how badly you play. But it's accessible right at the start. But you go in there with a character that's under level 10, and like the first creature you kill, the first creature you meet will decimate you. Everyone's dead.
What's the combat like?
Combat?
Like what kind of combat is it? I mean, it's what swords and that? I mean, I haven't read the review yet, so fill me in.
you've got a choice of like several different classes. You've got like your but they're basically three base classes. You've got like a fighter, a ranger, and then a mage. And each of those can be advanced to something different. So your fighter can become a warrior, or you can make him I can't remember what's a mystic knight. So you get like magic and shield. And,
That's cool.
but it's third-person combat, very similar to Dark Souls, but you can't lock onto enemies at all, which is a pain in the ass. But once you get the hang of the combat, it's actually quite cool. The best thing about the game is probably the monsters, the way that they react to like elemental attacks, and the fact that you have to climb on the damn things because they're so big. I was actually playing earlier today, and you come up against the Cyclops, and if you jump onto his chest and climb up, you can literally playing with the warrior. You can more or less headbutt him while after climbing up his chest. Fair enough, you sort of like poke him in the eyes with your sword or something, and he'll drop. But, it's just you're climbing up these monsters, which is kind of not a good thing if they can fly at the same time, because if they shake you off, you're dead. But yeah.
And story-wise?
Story-wise, it's actually quite good as far as the story goes. The main story certainly. The new content, that story is a bit mysterious. You're there to help this woman. You don't know if she's sort of good or evil. You're just supposed to help her remember who she is. And to do that, you've got to get to the end of the new content. But it's that's sort of very single-minded. But you've got all of these little side quests that you can do in the main story as well, where there's like these little mini stories happening. It's very much like an open-world RPG. I've spent like 10 hours wandering around without completing a single quest just because I wanted to go stab.
Yeah, that's cool.
So basically, build up your character and progress through the thing, kind of thing.
Yeah, until you get ambushed by a dragon, and it's just not good. I was not impressed.
And level up again till you have the balls to face him again, kind of thing.
Yeah, the problem is that the level cap on this game is ridiculously high, and like I was level 40 when I was ambushed by a dragon and it fried me. Just dead. I'm like, what the hell do you need to do this?
That's cool though, because I mean it keeps you wanting to progress further, I guess.
But the thing is that the gameplay is also a lot more complicated than you might think. Like you played Monster Hunter God?
Yes, absolutely.
The weapons, armor, and your they're called your curatives, like your health items, your stamina items, and stuff, status effects. All of that you've got to sort of pick up bits off of enemies that you've killed. You combine two to combine with something else to make item X that you need to go into a specific dungeon. You get flasks of water, so if you throw a flask of water at an enemy and you soak him and somebody hits him with a bolt of lightning, then he dies instantly. You throw a flask of oil at him, set him on fire. It can get very, very complicated if you want it to be. It's a lot like Monster Hunter, not quite as complex there, but many of those elements are in there as well.
Yeah,
cool.
It's it sounds really, really good. Guys, should we move on to our developer of the week? Yeah, guys, Ninja Theory. Jared, you're a big fan.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this stuff. I think we were saying earlier, there's some game they made on the original Xbox called Kung Fu Chaos, which I've never played. But I was reading up about it, and apparently it's like guys that would think they're in an action movie and it breaks the fourth wall. So I'd actually wouldn't mind giving it a try sometime. But the three games that really stand out from them are obviously Heavenly Sword, Devil May Cry, and Enslaved. I'm a big fan of all the games. Heavenly Sword was one of the first games I played on PS3. And yeah, the Enslaved and Devil May Cry I thought were both excellent. One thing about Ninja Theory is that their ability to create worlds was just or is just brilliant. Like their characterization and that. I don't know if you guys have played Heavenly Sword at all.
Of course.
Have you played the Goth?
No, I haven't.
You
What?
really must. It's so good. It's the characters that they bring in, the story, and like the way everyone interacts with each other was brilliant. And it's actually one of the better uses of the 6-axis, the motion control on the PlayStation control. And there's one of
The
those
sniping
games.
stages.
What's 6-axis? Is that something that gets used?
That apparently, but I mean, like I said, this was one of the first games, and they used it so well. The combat in there, particularly in Enslaved and Heavenly Sword, the combat wasn't that fantastic. It was a bit like button mashy, but it was made up, by the worlds and that. And then, with the recent Devil May Cry, the world that they created for that was amazing. And they got a lot of help with the combat, and I thought it was brilliant. I don't know, Brett, your thoughts?
Well, as far as Heavenly Sword goes, that was one of the highlights on the PS3 for me. Particularly the end part. I'm not going to mention anything beyond that. Anybody who's played the game knows what the end part is. Garth, you have to see it.
I'll put it on the list.
You really
it
must.
should be quite cheap. As far as Devil May Cry goes, that was actually it came out last year, didn't it? I've
This
got a
year,
bit of a horrible sense of time.
January this year.
January this year.
January this year. But that's it. That's been one of the highlights of the game. Highlights for me this year. Come to think of it, that and Bioshock Infinite. But that's beside the point. But yeah, it wasn't so much the combat for me as the way that they took the story and sort of restart just the way that they rebooted the story.
It was awesome.
I don't think it could have been done any better by a developer. To take the sort of the Dante and Virgil story and tell it from the beginning like that.
And the soundtrack was awesome, eh? I know you must have loved it, but it really was. It just fit so well, eh? Garth, have you played it all?
No. I haven't played any of Ninja Theory's games.
You haven't played any of them? Oh man, you're really missing out there. I must say, Enslaved was also a very special game. Actually, when I applied to write for Gear, I wrote the review on Enslaved as like my piece of work. So it's actually a game that I really like. One of the best endings to a game that I've ever seen. But also like just the whole world, and you can't not care about the characters in that game. They're just done so well. You really must play it. The main character Monkey is voiced by Andy Serkis, and it's just done brilliantly.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying right now is sort of, if you look at some of the top 10s that you specifically have done, Jared, in a handful of them, there were always sort of Enslaved and Heavenly Sword characters.
Yeah,
so it's sort of a tribute to sort of the character development and how it gets you on a personal level kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ninja Theory. They're easily one of my best developers. But like I say, Enslaved was just special. When I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but when you get to the end of that game and it is based on some ancient, I think, Chinese history, if I'm not mistaken, or some sort of prophecy or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but it was really just brilliantly done.
Yeah, Jared, you did the review for DMC, am I right?
Yeah, I did the review, and it was brilliant. I like, as Brett was saying, the way they rebooted it. I know there was a lot of hate for the way they did the new Dante, but he actually just fit it perfectly. He has done brilliantly. I've actually it's the first time I've ever bought DLC in my life. I bought the Virgil's Downfall DLC. I haven't played it yet, but I do have it to play. But yeah, I love the soundtrack, the combat, the story. And DMC is not really known for its storylines. Usually, the first few games, the stories were like just weird and didn't really matter because it was all about the set pieces. This one, they did the story brilliantly, so well worth playing.
Who did the original Devil May Cries?
It was Capcom.
Yes, it was Capcom. I remember now. After sitting through the wonderful Devil May Cry 4. It was
Yeah. A lot of people liked it. I think Brett liked it, didn't you? Didn't you like it?
No, I wasn't a fan of 4.
Okay. Because yeah,
I
Garth
guess
1 and 3.
played the 2. Garth has played, I think, 2 and 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2 and 4. So yeah, my life decisions have been really, really good, I guess.
But I have to ask, Garth, why haven't you played Enslaved? Any particular reason?
No, I just never came up really. Yeah, I always, you know, there was a long stage where I really didn't touch the PS3.
It's on Xbox as well, though.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. So, no. I actually thought it was a PS3 exclusive.
Heavenly Sword's PS3 exclusive, but not.
Oh, okay, all right. That's where I'm getting my wires crossed. Okay, all right. Oh. Look, out of the 3, I'll probably play Devil May Cry first. But yeah, Heavenly Sword sounds pretty appealing, I guess.
Yeah, and Heavenly Sword and Enslaved are both pretty cheap now. Enslaved is quite difficult to find a copy, but if you can find, they're both under 200 last time I saw.
Yeah, no,
Very well
definitely.
worth playing. Brett, did you play Enslaved?
No, I haven't gotten to it yet. With a big backlog, I'm not going to add to it just now.
You're really missing
It'll
out.
happen.
Oh yeah, it's like
Really,
the backlog ever ends. I mean
You
that.
guys are really missing out there. Never mind, like I mentioned the story, but it's also got like platforming sections which are just brilliant. The whole game is so well done. You guys both have to play it.
Yes, sir. We'll get straight to that. No, I'm intrigued. But yeah, as I say, I'll probably play DMC first. But yeah, we'll get there one day. I just want to hear Jared say "I told you so" once again. So yeah.
Hey, I won't be benefiting it from it most. You will be, because you'll be playing an awesome game.
I'll play Heavenly Sword as soon as you finish Mario Galaxy 2, Jared.
Ooh, that sounds like a challenge.
So you're never gonna play it then.
Such a lame ass.
I don't remember how to switch the Wii on.
Oh, all right. Okay, fair enough.
That's because it's got one button.
Yeah, it's really overly complicated.
Not easy.
Speaking about the Wii, yeah, let's get onto our retro title for
Why
the
does the
Wii.
Wii make you think of old games?
Absolutely. Well, it's Nintendo. How can it not?
Fair enough.
Yeah, our retro title for this week is Bomberman. Brett, good memories?
Ah, jeez, which one are you talking about there? I played the original back.
The very first Bomberman, yeah.
The thing I remember most about that is trying to be tactical about placing bombs, getting trapped, panicking, putting a bomb down in the wrong spot, and realizing I can't get out of a blast radius.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing like going sort of through a bird's eye passage, having bricks all around you, and putting 2 bombs on opposite sides of you, and you can't do anything.
Yeah, you just sort of sit there and
Yeah, and I think a lot of my deep-seated anger comes from my childhood and that game. Look, yeah, for those of the younger guys who didn't play it, you sort of had a bird's eye view in a sort of grid pattern with random bricks and more sort of static iron bricks, and yet sort of go through a level, and behind some of the, well, one set of the disposable bricks, you'd have the exit, and you'd sort of progress through the game that way. And of course there were all sorts of kind of interesting, I don't know what the enemies were based on, but they were sort of, you had funnels and blobs and balloons and all sorts of weird, crazy
hard.
Yeah, and yeah, then you got your little power-ups behind a certain set, which either made your bomb explode quicker or at your given time, with a longer sort of blast length as well, which was both a good thing and a bad thing. I also remember, you used to sort of get used to, okay, the sort of spread of my bomb is this long, and you kind of misjudge it after getting a power up and just sort of stand innocently and see fire kind of take over, kind of thing. So,
you also got ones that gave you multiple bombs.
Oh yes, absolutely, yeah.
And
yeah,
there was one that made your blast length the length of the stage as well.
Yes.
You pick up both of those once. Not a good idea. You just had like a wall of fire.
Yeah, it's also one of those games that has been re-released countless times with I don't know how many spin-offs and. Did you ever play it after the sort of first incarnation, Brett?
I played it on the DS for quite a while. They had this like same gameplay concept.
Yeah, it was Bomberland or Touch or something to that effect. Is it the one where you could have could sort of build up your character to a certain extent?
Yeah, you give him different like shoes and different.
I also played that. Jared, you're a big handheld fan. You should actually give it a shot. Something you might enjoy.
I'll take it.
Super simplistic by today's standards, but
that's why it appeals to you so much, eh?
Absolutely, it's anything I can sort of wrap my mind around at this stage. I mean, Heavenly Sword, it's too much. A game with both platforming and a music score in one, sort of.
Yeah, it's rough, eh?
Too much for me.
I can imagine.
It's far too much.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think there's actually they released it on XBL and PSN. So I don't know. One of those. But
I haven't seen it recently.
Yeah. As I say, there've been so many sort of reincarnations of the game. It's probably one of the most remade games, I think. But yeah.
At least they never made it 3D and turned them into a warehouse.
Jeez, there was a GameCube version which, could possibly,
That'll solve my illusion.
Yeah, kind of in the same fashion that the 3D Pac-Man games came along. Awesome stuff.
And Sonic. Wow.
God. Okay.
Anything else, please?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that, Jared. I'm sick all of a sudden, and I think we need to go.
Nightmares for all of you now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go play some Rayman now to get the taste out of my mouth.
Yeah. Drink some turbs, and it's gonna be good. Guys, I think we should wrap it up. Thanks for joining. Brett, good to have you with us for a change. And
no problem.
We've got Freebie Friday coming up a little later today, where you guys can stand a chance of winning Metro.
And I believe it's very good, the game, so make sure you enter. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, and leave a comment on the site, counts as an extra entry. And next week we'll have another game on which we'll announce during the week. Guys, see you next week, and have a good one.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Cool. Cheers.
Brett has gone.
Brett's already left. He's like, hell, I'm out of here.
Brett's gone now. We can make fun of him.
All right, guys. We'll